I've been studying a Mammer from the Rebbe Rashab, Padah Beshalom, and in there he speaks about the fact that Yitzchak was trying to elevate Esav, and even though Yitzchak knew Esav was a highwayman and a murderer, and he certainly wasn't up to par with what a nice Jewish boy should be, still Yitzchak wanted to give Esav the brachos. And the reason's given because Yitzchak came from Gevurah. And the idea of Gevurah, harshness, but also determination, that he could see the good in everything, in everyone. You just have to dig down deep enough. And that's why Yitzchak would dig a lot of wells. Because if you dig down far enough, you'll find water no matter where you go. And Yitzchak came with this perspective. And he was looking, it says, let's say he saw Asa from milamaila lamata, looking down. When you're up there and you're mamish, you're Yitzchak, and you look down on everything, you see the potential of everything. You see where everything could be, And he saw Esav, what Esav could be if he, Esav came from the world of Tohu, we say, and if he would take his powers of Tohu and direct them towards the Eibishter, then this would become a passionate fire towards the Eibishter, which is greater than anything from the world of Tikkun. And then the Mimer goes on to explain that the Nefesh of Bahamas is what we want to, the Esav is a parable to the Nefesh of Bahamas, and how we want to bring the Nefesh of Bahamas, which has passion, to do Yiddishkeit. And says why? Why don't we just focus on the Nefesh Elikis and never mind Nefesh of Bahamas? We answer because the Nefesh Elikis can only appreciate Hashem at the level of Seichel, to the level which he understands, which he can appreciate Hashem. However, he can't appreciate Hashem in an all-encompassing, ferociously passionate way that I'm willing to die and give myself to the Eibishter. The Nefesh Elikis can't do it. The Nefesh Elikis is calculated, and he has to be able to understand, and Hashem has to fit in his box. Beyond that, beyond the Hashem which fits in the Nefesh Elikis' box, he has no way of touching or feeling or expressing or understanding or driving towards. Whereas the Nefesh Bahamas, because he's passionate people will do anything under the sun. It makes sense. It doesn't make sense. You don't like it. You do like it. They don't care. For passion, all bets are off. And we're able to, it's like a engulfing fire, a blazing fire that just engulfs everything in its path. And that's what passion is. And passion will just consume the entire individual. Whereas an Nefesh Elikis, because it comes from the level of Chochmah, could only appreciate the Chochmah of Hashem. Can't appreciate the Etzem of Hashem. He can't appreciate, I want to be so connected with you, Hashem, that I don't care if I totally expire. But anyway, that's all the mimer. The part which I want to focus on was the interesting thing about Yitzchak being the one. Oh, sorry. So let me just, So the story is Yitzchak sees Esav and he sees Esav's potential. When Yitzchak says, "Oh, perfect! I'm going to give Esav the brachos, and these brachos are going to wake up Esav's nitzitzei kedusha, the sparks within kedusha which are trapped in klipa, and they're going to, elevate Esav to a point where Esav will become Kaddish. Well, Esav will start doing mitzvahs and learning Torah and everything, and Yaakov and Rivka saw that Yitzchak was wrong. Yaakov and Rivka both saw that if you give Esav the brachos, either these brachos were extremely, extremely high. They came from the world of Atik Yoimim. They were, brachos from, the highest levels of the Eibishter, and it was like, Yitzchak felt like, it would be like, if I take these brachos, which are a massive torch, and I bring it close to Esav, Esav has an nitzitzei kedusha stuck within him, and I bring the torch next to the spark is going to automatically jump over into the torch. That's what Yitzchak's hope was. But in reality, that's not what would have happened. And Yaakov and Rivka saw this. They saw that if Esav were to get these brachos, either Esav was in such a level, so deep and clutched and drenched in tumah, that even this level of Atik Yomin, which is so high, it would get totally nisbatal within the klipos of Esav. It would be a spiritual black hole, which even though you have such an intense light, a black hole doesn't let even light through. Nothing escapes a black hole. Modern physics has other things to say about that. But anyway, b'derech klal, nothing we can really measure in good sense escapes a black hole, including light. That's why we don't see anything. That's why it's black. No light escapes. So that's one thing which may have happened, possible outcome of giving Esav these brachos. The second possible outcome of the brachos is that Esav would have taka become holy, and he would have started doing mitzvahs, and he would have been totally, taken away with mitzvahs and Torah and learning and everything. But it wouldn't be Esav. It would be the brachos, which just kind of, activated this dormant side of Esav that all of a sudden, woke up and encompassed Esav entirely. But it wouldn't be Esav himself. Esav would have lost his personality, his chush. It would have just been, it's like a great tzaddik gives you a bracha, you're going to be a robot for Hashem and do all the Torah and mitzvahs. It's not what we need. It would have been a malach, The whole idea of coming down into this world is we bring us with our own personality and our own challenges and our own, our own individuality, our own chushim and everything, and we bring that to the table. We bring that to Torah and mitzvahs. Not that we just, Torah and mitzvahs, they happen. No. It's not just, it happens automatically. It's we work towards it and we bring ourselves to it. But however, in this case, Esav would have become totally, either Esav would have totally gobbled up all of the light and just swallowed it whole, or Esav would have become totally gobbled up by the oil of the avukah, by the oil of this torch, but it wouldn't be him anymore. He would lose his, it would totally obliterate the Esav. It would just wipe away the Esav instead of igniting the Esav, which is not what we want. We want to light the passion for Esav, not totally obliterate him. Not. Anyway, so that's all the mimer. Everything was a mimer. Finally, we get to my point. Since we had the build up. Normally, we would think that Chesed would be the one who would stick with somebody and would say, he's good, keep trying, give him another chance, give him the brachos, try, give, keep giving. Don't worry, he's bad, he's good, don't worry, give. That would be Chesed, which would be Avram. We say that all the Avos represent one level, one of the three levels of Chesed, Gevurah, and Tiferes. Chesed being Avram, so much so. Avram did so much Chesed that Chesed came to Hashem. The sphere of Chesed came to Hashem and said, Hashem, I have nothing to do on this world. I have nothing to do because you have Avram Avinu, who does so much Chesed in the world. He's filling the world. He's taking my job. He's not letting me, he's not leaving me anything to do all day. The next is Gevurah, which was represented by Yitzchak. Yitzchak was Gevurah-dik. That's what he was. He was harsh. He was, everything about him was Gevurah. And Yaakov was compassion. Yaakov was Tiferes. He was a combination of Chesed and Gevurah, which we translate as compassion. These are poor translations, but severity, kindness, and compassion. Anyway, so you would think that kindness would be the one who would give Esav the brachos regardless of his stature, who would, no matter what he was, who he was. As a person, or mercy perhaps, but Gevurah is severity. Gevurah is holding back, resistance, pulling away, and why would Gevurah be the one to give the brachos, to say, let's give the brachos. We're gonna. He's not a lost cause. Keep trying. Well, it's not Gevurah. Gevurah. Normally we see Gevurah. We say, Gevurah is set of barriers. He did something wrong. Oh, leave him alone. Leave him to his fate. He deserves to be punished. He's terrible. Gevurah dik. Now, I can't say this with any authority, but this is just a small epiphany which I had. We never say, and this is very in line with what at least what the Rebbe held. We never say, him, leave him for the dogs. He made his bed, now let him sleep in it. He's a waste of space. He's a lost cause. He's worthless. He's nothing. Garnished. Leave him alone. We never say that, especially not in Chassidus. Not in Chabad Chassidus, definitely not. Chabad Chassidus, every Yid is tired, every Yid is holy, every Yid has his place, every Yid is there's something in him, there's something important in him, and he's, and we're not complete until every single Yid is there, and no Jew will be left behind. That was the Rebbe's slogan, and the Taka true. No Jew will be left behind. More so because no Jew can be left behind. Without a single Jew, that's it. It's all, we're missing an integral part. It's almost like the space shuttle. If you're missing one bolt in the wrong place, sure, it's one tiny little bolt, and the space shuttle is a massive, huge construction. Yet that one bolt, which is, it's a tiny little bolt, what is it, this big compared to the, something that's 5 stories high. And yet that one bolt is missing, can tear the whole entire space shuttle apart. They said about the Titanic that one of the reasons why the Titanic sunk was because every ship apparently had air canisters, massive tanks of air that lay below them that keep the ship buoyant, keep the ship floating. These tanks of air, and for some reason, the engineer of the of the Titanic, he didn't seal he didn't seal the gas canisters entirely tight. And because of that, there was a oxygen leak, and that's why the buoyancy, it lost its buoyancy and started sinking. Anyway, so Stam, you see, one gas canister sitting underneath a ship, the largest ship I've ever constructed, and that's it. Some oxygen leaves and the whole entire ship falls. Anyway, so the Rebbe always believed in every single Jew being important. Every single Jew, we have to go there and we have to bring him back. There's a very nice story of the Rebbe where somebody came to it was right when the Frierdiker Rebbe was starting, big movements in Kirov and bringing back Jews. And this was back in the good old days when, it wasn't like nowadays where if a Jew doesn't do Torah and mitzvahs, more likely than not, it's because he was never taught the first thing about a Torah and mitzvahs, He was more reformer at best conservative, which was, put on the yarmulke, go to shul, do what you can, don't try too hard. Whereas back in the day, in the 1940s and 1950s and 1960s even, if you were an irreligious Jew, it was because you grew up in the good old, in the old country. You knew exactly where it was at. You knew exactly all the Torah and all the mitzvahs and all the everything. And yet you said, never mind, I can't be bothered. America's different, It's a very sad, I don't know if it's true, but, the story circulated, a very sad thing. They came to America and they threw the tefillin overboard. Whether or not they actually did that, but that was the attitude towards America. And the video they came and said, no, we have to bring these people back. All these people, you have to go find them and you have to schlep them back to Yiddishkeit and you have to teach them about Yiddishkeit. You have to make them love Yiddishkeit. Anyway, so somebody asked the Rebbe, he came to the Rebbe, this was before, the Rebbe Rashab was still alive, and he asked the Rebbe, it says about the Frierdiker, the Rebbe Frierdiker is going out, says, go bring back these people, bring them back to Yiddishkeit, bring them back to Torah, bring them back to mitzvahs, but doesn't it say in Torah, don't look in the face of Russia? You shouldn't look in the face of Russia? So what are we going to do with this? So, the Rebbe thought to him for a minute, he said, you're right. So, the Rebbe walked into the Frierdiker Rebbe, and the Rebbe asked the Frierdiker Rebbe, this guy has a point, it says, bring down this farm, that it says you shouldn't look in the face of a Russia. So why are we dealing with these Rishayim, which know all of Torah and mitzvahs and anyway throw it away? Or why are we bringing them back? And the Frierdiker Rebbe said, I want you to go back and ask the man. I wonder, I don't know if there was an ask the man or I wonder. But anyway, the Frierdiker Rebbe said, if the man's own son or the man's own daughter fell off the path of Yiddishkeit, would we say to this man, don't look in the face of a Russia. Leave your child, can't look in the face of your child because it's a Russia. Or would the man say that, the words escape me, the lines escapes me, but the words are essentially, you don't leave your flesh behind. That's from, I think, Nevi'im. You don't leave your flesh behind. What do you know? And sure enough, later in life, this man had a child, and the child went off the derech, and Lubavitch brought him back, and and the man was very thankful, But that was always, and the Rebbe always said, "Oh, Hasidim ein mishpacha, and Klal Yisrael ein mishpacha. We're all one family. We're all one Jewish family. We all, we all trace our roots back to Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov. A Jew came to the Rebbe and told the Rebbe, he's a Jew without any background. He didn't have, yichus or whatever. He just, Baal Tshuva or something." And the Rebbe said, "Excuse you? A Jew without any background? Every Jew has a background. He has a background of Avraham, he has a background of Yitzchak, he has a background of Yaakov. No such thing as a Jew without a background. He has 3,500 years of Torah and mitzvahs and Eibishter. No Jew has no background." But anyway, I digress. Saying that we should leave Rishayim alone and just doom them to their fate. That's not severity. That's not Gevurah. No. That's laziness. Him, write him off. Leave him alone. Let him do his thing. I can't be bothered. Don't bother me to, why should I go bring him back to Yiddishkeit? Let him come back on his own. And if not, doom him to hell. Whatever, who cares? That's laziness. That's not Gevurah. That's you turning your face from your brother. Gevurah says, I know there's good in you, and no matter how bad you think you are, no matter how much you think you're going to prove to me you're a terrible person, and you do Averis, and you eat Chazer on Shabbos, and there's a nice story about that. It's just, this video's long enough, but anyway, you eat Chazer on Shabbos to be spiteful to the Eibishter, and you'll break Yom Kippur, and you'll break Rosh Hashanah, and you'll do every Avera under the book, no matter how hard you try to tell me that There's no good in you. You're all bad. You're as bad as Esav. Few people, mamash, we say mamash, Esav, the malach of Esav was his pashat the Samach Mem because he looked like the Samach Mem because he was mamash such evil, Esav, such evil. And yet, Gevurah says, I don't care how hard you're going to try to prove that you're not a good Jew. There's a good Jew in you. And it's there. It's there. And I'm going to dig, and I'm going to dig, and I'm going to dig, and I'm going to dig. And I'm going to find it in you. I'm going to find it in you. And I'm going to bring it out in you. And I'm going to draw out that light. Chesed would give, but Chesed gives because you do good, you do bad, whatever. Here, take, leave me alone, so to speak. Gevurah says, no. What I give because I'm going to bring you back. I'm going to ignite you. I'm going to light you up. I'm going to give you the brachas, not because I want to give. That's what Chesed. Chesed wants to give, It loves to give. To give, it's happy. It's an oilam. It's in Gan Eden when it gives. Gevurah, if anything, it's hard for Gevurah to give. But Gevurah will give because it understands, it hasn't, because it won't give up. That's why Gevurah will give. Because it says that there's good in you. And I'm going to find it. No matter how long. That's digging wells, You have to dig down, you have to dig further and further and further and go through all the schmutz and the dirt and the rocks and the rubble and everything under the sun. But you'll get to the water. You'll find that water. And Gevurah will give you a slap in the face when you need it, Gevurah, Chesed says, you're fine the way you are. Here, have a candy. Gevurah says, no, you're not fine the way you are. You're not okay with who you are, And you have to fix it, and you have to work on it. And you have to work hard on it. And there's so much work for you to do. You're a miserable worm right now. But there's potential in you. There's something in you. And if you just shape up and you just, stop doing what you shouldn't be doing and stop wasting your time on narishkeiten and silly things and stop worrying so much about what he said and she said and they said and all the other distractions we have in life today. And you start focusing and honing in on why you were put on this earth, who you really are, and developing your skills to really go out there. And nowadays, the Rebbe always said, nowadays we have to go, Torah and mitzvahs are all fine and good, and we have to do them as well, of course. But right now, you also have to bring another Jew to start doing it as well. You have to go out there and you have to, go out there with Gevurah and schlep out the Yid inside every one of us. No matter how far removed that person might be from Yiddishkeit, deliberately or or unfortunately, just from the tide of secularism that's been taking over and who doesn't know. Anyway, we just finished Tisha B'Av. May this have been the last Tisha B'Av to ever happen. Today was a day which the Beis HaMikdash Pashat burnt to the ground, and that was it. Even the fire extinguished. May we all be Zaychet to see Mashiach. We have Tu B'Av coming up. So there's no greater light that comes than a light from darkness. And in fact, darkness only exists so that light can shine forth. Anyway, we'll all see Mashiach very, very, very soon. Have a good Shabbos, everyone.